My name is Christopher Penn, co-founder of Trust Insights, an IBM registered business partner. I'm an IBM champion in business analytics, and I wanted to take some time today to review some of the key learnings we all got from the IBM Win with AI Summit held recently in New York City. The event was a fantastic event, both for business partners and for customers of IBM, and for anyone who wants to learn what's important about the prerequisites to artificial intelligence. I think that's probably the best way to sum up the event. So many companies, so many people are rushing so fast, headlong into the artificial intelligence space, just trying to pick up whatever they can learn, taking courses, trying out new vendors and things, and they're missing the fundamentals for AI. They don't have a solid foundation, and that foundation begins with data. So one of the products revealed at the event was IBM Cloud Private for data, which is a abstraction and unification layer for data. With ICP for data, you connect to your data sources where they are, as opposed to trying to bring them all on the cloud. So it's great for highly regulated industries, for example. And as part of ICP for data, you can bring in either pre-built or develop your own governance policies that come with the policy and then the rule, so you can dictate this is who can and can't have access to the data, this is what data is not available, and even trigger system-level data changes like de-identification to be able to say, yep, you can get this data, but it's been de-identified, so that people who are working in statistics and algorithms and machine learning and deep learning can build models, but they don't necessarily need access to the personally identifiable information, which is much more regulated, much more protected for good reason, and frankly unhelpful. One of I think the best insights from the ICP for data session at Win with AI was that the more detailed and personal a piece of information is, the less useful it is for modeling. To know that my name is Christopher Penn doesn't really help you build an AI model, because there aren't that many people named Christopher Penn. To know that I am that I identify as male, that I live in Massachusetts, that my company is based in Massachusetts, those are things that are much broader variables that you can do much more useful model building with. And so that insight about the way we can use ICP for data to structure our data, to clean it, to model it, and to govern it where the data lives, it was, I think, an important part of the event. The second thing was a simplification and unification of the Watson AI ecosystem. There have been a lot of things like Data Science Experience and Watson Studio and all these different tools, SPSS Modeler, and it's really great to see that IBM is bringing these things together, unifying the products into Watson Studio, which is our data science and machine learning lab, and then Watson Machine Learning, which is the production environment, and being able to take a model that we've built in one environment and just seamlessly move it to different environments. Cloud, hybrid, public, private is so powerful at being able, because it lets us scale, it lets us work where the data is, and it lets us reuse our models as we build them. So I thought that was really powerful. The third thing I think that was really important was that the event did a great job of emphasizing was that your data is the foundation of machine learning. If your data isn't good, your machine learning won't be any good. And again, so many people, particularly in the space that I work in, I work a lot in marketing, and a lot of marketers think that artificial intelligence is somehow magic. It's not magic, it's math. It's that thing you went to school for that you tried to avoid for a lot of marketers. And so understanding that it really is math. It's math, it's quantification, it's statistics, it's probability. A huge part of machine learning is probability. Means that the cleaner and better our data is, the better our machine learning will get. And so having products like ICP for data and Watson Studio and Watson Machine Learning give us the ability to set the foundations that we need for great machine learning initiatives, and to do so in a way that applies best practices. One of the things that if you haven't tried Watson Studio, you really should. I like about the Watson Studio environment is that it is very regimented. There are defined ways of doing things, and I find that's important because it helps people understand you can't skip over these steps, right? If you look in either SPSS modeler or the neural network modeler, there are whole bunches of steps and sequences that you're not supposed to skip over in order to get to a functional output, a functional model and a functional output. And having that built-in process governance into the tool encourages people to learn how to use the tool and to learn to learn the best practices to making the output reliable. Now, the one last thing that I think was an important takeaway from the event, and more from the conversations that the various subject matter experts had at the event, was no tool, no software right now is going to do a perfect job of detecting and understanding bias. No tool is going. There are tools. Watson actually has a brand new tool that can help identify bias in data sets, but no tool is going to do that perfectly. What we have to be constantly aware of is what biases are there in the data, what flaws are there in the data, and how did we introduce those biases. And there really are 4 categories of bias. Number 1 is intentional bias. Did someone put their thumb on the scale? Did someone write the algorithm to create a desired outcome? That's relatively easy to detect. Number 2 is what's called target bias, where the data set in question has flaws in it that you need to detect. You need to detect because if the machine trains on those flaws, you'll end up with bad data. And so you have to compensate and weight the data and clean it, etc. The third is source bias. And this is something a lot more pervasive and much harder to detect. If, for example, you were to do a machine learning model on healthcare, and you made your effort to make it representative, you made it well structured, you did a good study, and you built in a lot of historical data, cleaned, validated, and you wanted to build a model for African American healthcare. No matter how careful you are, guess what? That data is flawed because the source, our society, has disadvantaged African Americans for so many decades that all the healthcare data we have on them is suspect. All of it. Except maybe like the last couple of years. But even that, there are still so many issues with different levels of care in different communities that the entirety of that corpus of data is suspect. So that's source bias. And then the fourth is tool bias. There are some tools and platforms and things that can't accommodate certain types of data or can't do it well, or the algorithms for quantifying that data are not good, so the tool itself introduces a bias. For example, if you're doing social media monitoring, something that I and a lot of other companies do, and you're pulling comments and likes and shares from Instagram, but at no point are you doing image recognition, well, you're missing the point of Instagram, right? It's the pictures and the videos and the stories. But if your tools are unable to compensate, or unable to ingest that data, and of course you're going to create a bias based on the people who have put certain things in descriptions which may not in fact be what actually people care about. So there's a lot to unpack in Win with AI, at the Win with AI Summit. But looking at the new tools, looking at data as the foundation, and understanding the biases we have in our data were some of the key takeaways that I hope you get a chance to watch the replays as they're available and get a chance to try out some of the tools like ICP for Data and Watson Studio. As always, if you have comments or questions, please let the folks here at IBM know, and look forward to seeing you at the next IBM event. Take care. Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.